Military analyst Michael Clark from King's College London. Welcome back to DW. Let's start in Al-Mawasi, where Israel's army tried to kill a Hamas top commander but ended up causing dozens of civilian casualties instead. How do things like that happen with an army that is so well equipped?
Because it's not the army that is doing it, it's the Israeli Air Force. And it can happen because it's what the Israelis intend if they are going after people like Mohammed Deif. They thought that they had him, that they knew exactly where he was, and they still think that they probably got him, but they can't confirm it. And if you look at the way the Israelis approach these operations, when it comes to the top commanders, like Mohammed Deif, like Issa, who you mentioned in the report, like Yahya Sinwar, who is the man above Deif, when it comes to people like that, they will accept any number of Palestinian casualties if they can get those particular top commanders. So they sent 5 missiles onto the area where they thought they had good information that Deif was. Maybe they got him, maybe they didn't. But from their point of view, when they go for a really top commander, the number of civilian casualties is simply irrelevant. When they go for people who are not top commanders, they do consider how many deaths are regarded as reasonable. And you and I would still say that's a very high number. But the number that they consider reasonable is unlimited going after somebody like Deif.
Right. Israel has said repeatedly that its endgame is to eradicate Hamas and that it won't end the war until it's achieved that aim.
Yeah.
Is that possible, to eliminate Hamas completely?
No, and in fact, they don't now say they're trying to eliminate Hamas. You look carefully at what Netanyahu said. He began by saying, we have to eliminate Hamas, full stop, take them off the map altogether. Then he said, we have to eliminate Hamas as an organization, which is not quite the same as eliminating Hamas. And then he said, now he says, we must eliminate Hamas as a military threat to Israel. That's a bit different again. So the Israelis are already 3 steps down from the place they started at. And they're not going to achieve even that, because although they talk about the number of Hamas terrorists they've killed, they thought there were 25,000 there at the beginning of this operation. They think that they have killed at least 15,000, but nobody can give you a figure as to how many more terrorists they have created. For every 22-year-old Hamas terrorist they kill, you can guarantee there's a 15-year-old brother and 3 or 4 12-year-old cousins who have sworn vengeance against Israel for the rest of their lives. So the idea that the Israelis can eliminate Hamas as a military organization is plausible, but they can't eliminate it as a military threat as long as they are creating at least as many terrorists as they kill. That's the problem they've got. And at the moment, they only have about 2 brigades in the whole of the Gaza Strip. They've withdrawn most of their troops. They hold Rafah. They hold the Philadelphia corridor at the south that runs along the southern border with Egypt. And they hold the Netzarim corridor in the north, and at the Shujaa camp. So there's only 3 areas, and the area of Rafah that they actually control. The rest of the place is now open for Hamas to come back, which is what they're doing.
And a brief word about those moderated aims that you talked us through. Is that a reflection of the difficulty of this war, or is that just what they should have been saying right at the start, and they started off having high-flown aims because that's what you do at the start of a war?
Yes, I mean, the Netanyahu government didn't think through with any credibility or clarity what they were really trying to achieve. And they gave the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, a quite impossible job to do. And they wouldn't specify what they were supposed to do as and when they cleared Hamas people out of the north and then the center and then Gaza City, then Khan Yunis. And so the IDF have been making this up as they go along. Right. It's a strategic failure from start to finish. And it leaves the IDF basically chasing its tail inside Gaza, while the situation doesn't get worse, but it doesn't get any better for Israel. But it gets considerably worse for the people of Gaza.
That's very clear. Thank you for talking us through that. Military analyst from King's College London, Michael Clark.